Okay, so you're here because you want to skip the fluff and get right to the strategies that actually work online, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Whether you're coaching, creating content, maybe building a course,
Hmm.
figuring out who you're really talking to, and finding that profitable little corner of the market, that's, well, that's everything.
It really is the foundation. And today we're doing a deep dive into this really helpful guide from Dave Gambrill over at Digital Marketing Mentorship.
Oh yeah, Dave stuff is great.
It gives you these really practical and, importantly, free ways to nail down your niche and audience.
Right. And the core idea, it's about moving past just having a general sense of who you help.
Like, I help entrepreneurs. Too broad.
Way too broad. It's about finding a specific group, people with actual defined problems that you are uniquely suited to solve.
And this guide is packed with actionable stuff. We're talking about zeroing in on that profitable niche, really getting inside your audience's head, learning their language.
Essentially the exact words they use.
Exactly. And then building offers that people actually want to buy, all using free tools you probably already have access to.
It tackles that common problem right away, doesn't it? This feeling that you need to appeal to everyone.
Or chasing the latest shiny trend.
Or, maybe worst of all, building something for a market where nobody's actually spending money yet. It can be really frustrating.
Totally. So Dave introduces this concept, I really like this, called the purple ocean.
The purple ocean, yeah. It's a smart way to think about it. It's not the bloodbath of the red ocean where everyone's fighting.
Hmm.
And it's not the totally unknown blue ocean where you might be, way too early trying to create demand out of thin air.
So the purple ocean is
Oh,
the
yeah.
sweet spot.
Kind of, yeah. It's that place where there's proven demand. People are already looking for solutions. They're spending money.
Mm.
But crucially, there's still room for you.
Room to stand out. Bring your unique perspective.
Exactly. It's fertile ground.
Okay, so finding this purple ocean, where do we start? The guide suggests looking inward first, which I found interesting.
Yeah, it's powerful because often the best people you can serve are, well, basically you from a few years ago.
Right, someone who is facing the exact problems you've now figured out.
Precisely. So the guide has these reflection questions like, who were you, say, 3 to 5 years back?
Okay.
What were you really struggling with then that you've, since overcome? What advice do people always seem to ask you for?
Ah, that's a good one. What you're the go-to person for.
Yeah. Or what subject could you just rant about, like on a podcast for hours?
We all have those.
Oh, we do. And what communities or groups are you already part of? Online forums, Facebook groups, local meetups,
Mm.
and maybe what specific thing, a product, maybe a process you learned, or even just a mindset shift really changed things for you.
Okay, so these aren't just random journal prompts. They have a purpose.
Definitely not random. They're digging into your lived experience.
Yeah.
And then the guide says, okay, think about who else is going through that exact same thing right now.
Right. Find the others like your past self.
And crucially, what words do they use when they talk about it? Not your expert jargon, but their everyday language.
And what's like a quick win you could offer them, that first little step?
Exactly. That first taste of progress. Answering these, that starts building your ideal client profile. You get their pains, their hopes, their language.
It's the foundation for everything else, like your marketing message, your offer.
It really is.
Now, the guide has this fantastic tip using Amazon book reviews. I mean, we all use Amazon, but as a free market research tool. Genius.
It's so smart. Because think about it, if people are shelling out money for a book on a topic,
They're serious about finding a solution. They're already invested.
exactly, they've demonstrated a willingness to spend. So you stop guessing and start listening to actual paying customers. It's a goldmine.
Okay, so how does it work practically?
Well, the guide lays it out pretty simply.
Yeah.
Search your topic, your problem area in Amazon Books.
Right.
Find the top, say, 10 bestsellers in that category. Those are the popular ones.
Makes sense.
Then this is the key bit. You copy and paste the reviews. Get a bunch of the 5-star ones
Okay.
and a bunch of the 1-star ones. Put them in separate documents.
Right, the good and the bad.
Then you use a free word cloud tool. Well, there are plenty online. Like wordclouds.com is one the guide mentions.
And you feed the 5-star reviews into one cloud and the 1-star into another.
You got it. And these clouds visually show you the words that come up again and again.
So what are we looking for in those clouds? What do they tell us?
Well, the 5-star reviews show you what people loved, what benefits really hit home, what parts of existing solutions worked.
Okay.
The 1-star reviews, they show the gaps, what was missing, what frustrated people, what problems weren't solved.
Ah, the unmet needs.
Exactly. And those words that keep appearing in both clouds, that's your audience's actual language. The
Mm.
guide calls it stepping into the conversation already happening in their customer's mind.
Wow, that's powerful because then you can literally lift those words and phrases
Uh-huh.
and use them on your website, in your emails, for your course modules.
Makes your copy instantly relatable. It tells people, hey, I actually get you.
That builds trust immediately.
It really does.
Yeah.
And there's a crucial pro tip in there, too. If you search for books and find almost nothing,
Warning sign.
yeah, it could mean the niche is just too new, maybe too untested. The guide kind of advises against being the absolute pioneer. It's often easier and less risky to find a path where people are already walking.
Find that purple ocean, not the empty blue one.
You got it.
Okay, so we've looked inward, we've mined Amazon. Next up, the guide points us to Google, YouTube, Facebook, places we use every day, but for research.
Right, but with a specific goal. Uncovering the actual questions and worries people have.
How does that work on Google or YouTube?
You start typing in questions or problems related to your niche. Pay attention to the autocomplete suggestions that pop up as you type.
Ah, because that's what other people are actually searching for.
Exactly. Same with the people also ask boxes on Google. And on YouTube, look at the titles and topics of the most popular videos in your space.
So these show pain points, curiosities, buyer intent even.
For sure. It reveals what's on their mind.
And Facebook, how do we use that for research?
The guide suggests looking less at your feed and more at where your potential audience hangs out.
Like specific groups.
Yeah, niche Facebook groups are great for this. See what questions keep coming up, what frustrations are people venting about.
Okay.
Also, look at the comments under posts by big influencers in your general field. Depending on your niche, maybe a Brené Brown or a Tony Robbins type. What are people asking them? What discussions pop up?
It's like eavesdropping, but ethically.
Kinda, yeah. It's about listening in on the existing conversation.
And the goal of all this searching and listening, the guide calls it building your audience vocabulary list.
That's it. Your personal dictionary, not your fancy industry terms, but the real everyday words they use for their problems, their goals, their desires.
Which is just so critical, because when you use their words back to them,
instant connection. They feel understood. They think, okay, this person actually gets it, which is huge if you want them to trust you can help.
makes total sense. Now, the guide then moves into something really current, using AI tools to deepen this research.
Yeah, it's like the next layer. Once you've done that groundwork with search and social listening, AI can help you synthesize it, find patterns, go deeper.
So how would you use something like ChatGPT or Claude for this?
The guide gives some great example prompts. You could ask it things like, what are the top pain points for your specific niche?
Okay.
Or what are common myths or misinformation about your topic? Or even, what are the usual objections people have to buying a type of solution like yours?
Ah, so AI can quickly surface trends, maybe questions people aren't asking out loud, even content ideas based on all that data it can access.
Exactly. It's like having a superpowered research assistant. And the guide also mentions Notebook LM, which is from Google.
Notebook LM, how's that different?
It's pretty neat, actually. You can upload all your research notes, transcripts, articles, links, those Amazon reviews.
Okay, centralize everything.
Yeah. And then it can help you make sense of it. It can generate mind maps, visually organize your findings. You can ask it questions about your notes, like what themes pop up most often.
You can talk to?
You could even have like an audio conversation with your notes and do reverse lookups, like you feed it one of your insights and it finds the source material in your notes that supports it.
Wow. That sounds incredibly useful for really understanding how your audience thinks.
It helps connect all the dots you've gathered.
So this whole process, from reflection to AI, it's all about building that deep understanding before you create anything.
Absolutely. Which leads directly to the final crucial step the guide emphasizes, validation.
Right. Don't build it if they won't come.
Please don't. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So validation is key. The guide says ask yourself, are people already spending money to solve this problem elsewhere?
Is there an existing market?
Yes. And do they talk about their problems with urgency? Like, is it a real pain point or just a mild inconvenience?
Good distinction.
And are there products or services already out there that you could maybe improve upon, make simpler, more effective, offer a different angle?
Finding your unique twist on an existing solution.
Exactly. And then there's this really clever next level tip for validation. Pre-selling.
Ah, testing the waters before diving in.
Totally. It's about getting proof of demand before you spend months building a full course or program.
So how would you pre-sell?
The guide suggests something simple. Create a basic landing page for, say, a live Zoom session. call it a workshop or a Q&A, where you promise to tackle the top 10 questions you uncovered in your niche research.
Okay.
You see if people sign up. Even better, charge a small fee for it if people register, especially if they pay.
That's a strong signal. That's real interest.
Huge signal.
Yeah.
It tells you you're onto something people actually want.
Hmm.
It avoids that awful feeling of launching to crickets.
Yeah, we definitely want to avoid the crickets. So wrapping this up, the big message from Dave's guide seems to be that this kind of powerful research isn't rocket science.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't need a fancy degree. It just takes curiosity
Yeah.
and a genuine desire to listen to the people you want to serve.
And anyone can do this, right? We've talked about free tools looking inward. It's accessible.
Absolutely. It's about finding your specific purple ocean, that spot where your story, your experience, your solution is needed and wanted.
And using these steps, using these tools, you can start making those real connections and building things that people genuinely value.
That's the goal. Meaningful connection, valuable offers.
So for everyone listening, maybe think about that. What's that potential purple ocean starting to shimmer for you now? What's the first, maybe small research step you could take after hearing this?
Yeah, just pick one thing to start.
Hopefully this deep dive has given you some clear, encouraging steps. And hey, if you want to keep navigating this online world and really thrive, definitely stay connected with Dave Gambrill at Digital Marketing Mentorship. He's got tons of great insights.
Good recommendation.
Thanks so much for diving deep with us today.